Hi, I'm Tommy Nonenmaker, and I was a co-host for Broadway Under the Stars. So Broadway Under the Stars, or BUTS as we like to call it, it's kind of like a fun event where students who have auditioned with pieces from famous Broadway musicals get to sing them live on stage in front of the community and their other peers, and they get to do solos, duets, group things, whatever. As long as it's been a part of a Broadway show or a musical, they get to perform that live, and it's a great way, it's a great event for the kids, and it helps raise money for the Chatham boosters, who we're very grateful for. They do so much for us, and it's a good way to raise money for that. So shout out the boosters, because you guys are amazing. So I think the reason that they ultimately decided to have the event outside was mostly just so we could do it right within the community. I think there may have been a slight COVID reasoning involved, because I know we used to do it in the high school in the, I think cafeteria actually, that was before my time. But having it outside, we did it at the gazebo in Chatham right by Main Street, and that was amazing because people could just come up by the park, put a chair down, sit on a bench and listen to us perform and act and sing, and that was amazing.
Tell me this feeling will last till forever. Tell me the bad times have clean washed away.
Please understand that it's still strange and frightening for losers like I've been. It's so hard to say. Suddenly Seymour.
Suddenly Seymour.
So I don't know if I'm going to be the host next year because that's all up in the air. That's up to Mr. Bryson. But hey, Mr. Bryson, if you're watching this, sure.
My name is Dana Goodstein. I am the 4th and 5th grade general music and choir director at Lafayette, and I also direct the musicals. So how did the idea come about of doing a musical? So I've always loved musical theater. I used to do musicals as a kid myself, and I always wanted to direct my own shows. And when my first job, I was assistant directing, and then I did that again for the next year. And I went to Mr. Lawrence, my supervisor, and I said, I really want to do a show. He said, let's make it happen. So it's really been something that I have wanted to do for as long as I can remember. I've directed shows when I was in college, and then there's something about elementary shows that really sparked an interest in me, because I can then spark the interest with students who are at a young age. So it was just something I really wanted to do. What was it like directing my first musical during a pandemic? It was stressful at times, but you would be surprised. The kids really rise to the occasion when given the opportunity to do so. I think because there weren't as many extracurriculars going on at the time, the need for something to do was really high at Lafayette especially. So I got a lot of kids who auditioned. I actually, unfortunately, had to cut some students, which was super sad, but I think because it was a pandemic year, most kids didn't have as much to do after school. So they really jumped on the opportunity to do something outside of their comfort zone. Yeah, so a big challenge that we faced was because kids are wearing masks, you couldn't really see their emotion. And it was hard for me to portray what emotion to kind of show them. I had to basically tell them instead of show them, which is hard in theater. It's hard to do, especially with young students. Typically they need a model. Another thing was vocally, it was a little bit difficult. And as we started to take off our masks for the final production rehearsals, I noticed, oh, I could have fixed this, I could have done this with certain singing things with students, because it was a matter of, oh, just drop your jaw, right? So I think that was the biggest challenge, was the emotion, hiding behind the masks, and vocally. You'll have to find out next year.